Alright, so we're going to try this again. Hopefully without having to grind. And in the meantime, I found some things to talk about while we do this for like the 10th time. Number one, it's pouring down rain right now. Every now and then you may hear thunder or something. That's real. It's not my stomach this time. So we're gonna go for the manipulation on break, but that should be the only real exploit here. Great, block it first. Appreciate it. But yeah, I have fond memories of when I was younger playing various Final Fantasy games, especially going through intense boss fights while it's like storming. So let's do this. Let's bring back my childhood one raindrop at a time. I was actually unable to beat Kanozo from Final Fantasy IV. It's the Water Fiend. It made it even more dramatic. My clue should have been the lightning going around me. I had not sorted out at that point that water was weak to lightning. Look, I'll get my life together eventually. Here we go. Man, it's coming down hard. All I need right now is... Oh no. No. Y'all need to chill out with that mess. Pretty sure it's like a freaking hurricane outside. Okay, let's go. Let's go. We've got some really bad white hole luck. Really bad. That was ugly. Well, 4 minutes in the stream. Game over. That was cute. That was nice. That was interesting. Let's not do that again. That was some really bad white hole luck. We had such good white hole luck in the previous runs. So yeah, so once upon a time, I'm looking at this book now. It's just a compilation of writings by an author by the name of Søren Kierkegaard. Nobody knows how his name is pronounced. It's a Danish author, philosopher, theologian. He wrote a work called Either Or. And it is on the principle of love. And whether or not it is truly desirable to get married and to have long-term monogamous relationships. And this would have been written like late 1800s, early 1900s, something like this. I mean, I could pull the book off the shelf and tell you, but it's called Either Or because it tells two different sides of the story. It's almost like a long form trial where you get the perspective of why marriage is unappealing, and then you also get a long form trial as to why it is or ought to be. Should be doing some stuff soon. Apparently not. Anyway, the first half of Either Or is told from the perspective of reading the journal of a he's a romanticizer. Can't remember the technical term. We would refer to him today as some kind of douchebag, but that's not the point. Basically, he is motivated by getting women to believe that love exists, but not necessarily participating in it. It almost he ultimately breaks the women that are involved because he shows them that they're worth so much more than anyone could ever provide for them. So on one hand, he's not a good dude, but on the other hand, he's exposing one of the better parts of humanity in these women. So that's the reason that I didn't be sure who's gonna make it through the white holes. And yes, we're just killing rods. Hold on. YouTube is not receiving enough. Oh, please. Stop playing. I don't have time for this nonsense. This will be the time that I beat it. Okay. Okay. Well, it's going. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what it's complaining about. When we transition to the next part of the fight, I'll do a speed test. You should be close to death though. Okay, we're back now, looks like. Sure, why not? Anyway, where was I? Nope. Nope, 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 nope. I rebuke that. Oh. Thank you, Luna. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. But anyway, so the first half is basically a journal entry, play-by-play of, oh, he's a seducer. There's the word I'm looking for. So he seduces this woman, but not like directly. He's involved in this tangle of relationships, but in the process, he shows this girl that she's far better than the person that she's trying to get with could ever give. And in fact, that there's no one in the world that could love her as much as she's worth. So that's a bit of an unfortunate end to that. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil the whole thing, but that's basically the first half. And the second half is a sermon by a preacher that's trying to make the case that marriage is preferable above all things, and against all other objections. And one of the objections that he comes up against is, as you get old, your love just isn't the same as it used to be. But his response to that is that it's supposed to change. It doesn't feel the same, but it evolves in a way that corresponds to the stages of life that you're in with that person. So with a certain kind of energy, like an internal response to somebody else's needs and presence, like that fundamental does not change if it's really love. It actually grows over time, even if it doesn't feel as it did before. So you love someone just the same when the day you're married as you do, if you're changing their diaper much later in life, or if they have dementia and you have to remind them what their own name is and stuff like this. Like, you do that with the same kind of passion. It just doesn't feel like a burning in your chest, or it doesn't give you butterflies in your stomach and that sort of thing. It's not that manifestation of love, but it's love nevertheless. And I know what you're thinking. What brought this on? So I reached out to one of my colleagues, because this is my day off, so I'm playing a lot of video games. I had reached out to her and let her know what I was doing, because she and I stay in correspondence. Alright, are we ready for this? This better happen early. Anyway, I told her that this game had been a breeze, because she doesn't know what game I'm playing. What am I doing? Okay. So I told her what I had been doing. And I told her this had been such a breeze up until the last boss. And the boss has taken me a solid 4 hours to figure out what my strategy is supposed to be. And she said, well, she's glad that I'm taking my day off to do something that I love, which is a funny thing to say to someone who's beating their head up against the wall, trying to figure out how to beat this last boss. Like, she doesn't understand that I've been playing this game since I've been like 14, 15 years old. And that this boss should be a breeze for me. Is it a breeze? No. This has been a very interesting learning experience. I do think it would be a different situation if I were a little higher leveled. No, 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 no. But I thought that was funny that she said that she was glad to hear that I was doing something that I loved, even though the way I was discussing it, it was clearly being a pain in my butt. There was something that came across, and the way I explained it to her, that it was intuitively obvious that this was something that I loved. That's I thought it was an interesting observation just from that perspective. First of all, I don't think I'm married to Final Fantasy V, but that's one of the things that I pointed out in previous streams is that I need to embrace specialization, and having embraced that, I've gotten a lot better at playing this game. Alright, this is getting on my nerves. I realize this is cheap, but it sure beats watching me play this thousands of times. We have to get rid of that first one so we don't get Almagest. Everything else should be fine. Listen, I liked that better than the Delta attack, but I'm assuming this has like a 4% chance of happening, which is, 1 in 25, basically. There we go. Here we go. Aaron is a happy adult. Okay, alright. So we got the hard part out of the way, right? Alright, so the key to not getting whooped up on at the end is using multi-target attacks. So that there's not just one remaining at the end. That will keep you from getting whooped up on. So we'll take care of Dragon to begin with. I like how this is the same song I've heard for the same last 4 hours or so. But for whatever reason, that snare seems extra crisp right now. Now, granted, I can only hear out of one ear. Is there flame out of there? Okay. So there may be some other stuff going on the other ear that I can't enjoy as much. Ooh. I'm sorry, dude. I didn't know you were suffering down there. Heal thyself. Sir. How kind. Thank you. I thought I was going to have to heal him. I think Ferris could need some healing, but... But the conclusion of the book, spoiler alert, excuse me, the conclusion of the book is that, or I should say the conclusion of the author is that both perspectives are valid, that they share valuable insight into what love is and what it means to share that with other people. However, it's not an either-or situation. Like, you don't have to accept one position or the other. You can understand that that marriage has its struggles and its faults. But so does being a seducer, and being seduced, and anybody else that's affected by all that. So, it's complicated, but that the author himself leans more towards the pastor's message. Not break, good lord. Knock on wood, this is going very well. Very lucky, very lucky. I mean, tying it all together, it does make you wonder. As much luck went into my success this time around, how much quote-unquote luck goes into a successful marriage? Or seduction, for that matter. If that's even the right word for it. Okay, there you go. That was your interesting commentary. Sometimes I wonder how many people watch my videos thinking they're going to get a lecture like that. Or how many come just to watch me fail miserably at this game. Okay, alright, here we go. Fun part. Nice. Not nice. We haven't had to use that single elixir yet either. Man, this is gonna take forever. Man, what is 50,000 divided by 2? 25, 26, 27. 27. 27. It's 10 rounds. It's 10 full rounds. Okay. I got this. And don't ask how I did that math in my head, if it's even right. It's probably not. But I was thinking, okay, so it's approximately 50,000. It's actually 55,000. Yeah. Divide that by about 2,000 each time. It's not even 2,000. So who's to say that I don't still love playing this game the same way I loved playing this game 20 years ago. This is just showing it differently, I guess. I am seriously going to have to think through a better way of beating Xdeath than manipulating that. I think if I were a few levels higher, Almagest would not actually kill me, so... But it would still be cutting it close every round. For how many rounds? It's about 9,000, 10,000 per round. It's 5 rounds. got to be a better strategy there. I feel like the top, or would say the front. I feel like the front is going to take some unnecessary damage to kill, but yeah, it's not taking as much damage as the back. That wasn't very nice. I just need to be prepared. I really think Dragon's gonna come out first. I must have lower magic defense or something. Thank you. Okay, which one stayed? Come on now, don't do it, don't do it. Okay. Ooh, chill out. It's almost over. Come on. How is that a thing? Unless front just has significantly lower HP. There we go. Game over. Let me sip on my apple juice. I'm an adult. Oh, hello. Did you really just show up for, for the last of 20 attempts? Martha. Never play through as Black Mages only. Don't ever do it. This game was this run was so easy. I was like, man, I'm over leveled, I'm over prepared. And then you get to okay, Twintania was interesting. You had to get creative with Twintania. That's so I thought through that. We finally got through it. It's fine. I think I got like 3 game overs on that. But I swear to you, this has got to be like my 10th time trying to beat Exdeath. And I could only get through it with manipulation because I think break has like a rare chance of working. So, and that was the only way I could avoid getting hit with what is it, Almagest? That does like 16 plus damage to everyone. The only way I could get above that would be to grind. So, I had to use a little emulator magic to get like a 4% chance of a break happening within like the next century. It's like a 1 in 22, 23 chance. So there was a lot of rewinding involved in that, but that was the only way to get rid of the middle section so that you don't get hit with Almagest. The rest was just a matter of timing. The previous attempt, I forgot that if you let one of them stand alone, that they will whoop on you. So you gotta kill the last two about the same time. Which, you know what's interesting? I had never thought about this until now. I played through this game like, we'll just say a dozen times, politely. All those gargoyles that you fight, or if you kill them at different times, one will resurrect. Or when you fight what is basically, what are those? In Final Fantasy IV, we understand them as the Calcabrana, the dolls, but they're little monsters that keep saying oink, even though they're not really pigs. I don't know what they're called. And the undersea trench. Anyway, so there are all these bosses or mini bosses that you're fighting in the third world that are basically training you to make sure you're killing everything at the same time. I don't know why I'm all of a sudden surprised that the last boss will whoop up on you if you don't kill all of its parts at the same time. So I'm learning slowly. It's only taken me a few decades, but I got this. And this is totally hands-free for the next century. So, how's your day going, Martha? How's work? So is it basically a 9 to 5, or do you have variable hours? So is that over and beyond what your normal scheduled hours are, like overtime type situation, or is that just part of the job? Well, that's good. Gotcha. Yeah, I have a 4 hour training. It's voluntary, but it's like strongly encouraged, we'll say. Like if it's not done, you're gonna get a serious look. Um, and it's this week, 4 hours. But I'm I'm a salaried exempt employee, so it doesn't really, like, if I still have work that needs to get done, they expect me to make it happen. Uh-oh. They're not, I'm not getting a fancy meal. I work at home. They're not gonna Uber Eats me my feast. I wish though, that would be nice. It's all good. You know what? We Once upon a time we did have a summit for a previous client that I worked for, where they actually had us up at a hotel somewhere. It was a nice experience. Well, I'm glad you have that attitude. Most of my employees like trainings because it means they can get off the phone. They're not really there for the information. That reminds me, I need to organize a training for this coming Thursday. I both have like direct and indirect supervisory roles. So to put it in like a very broad sense, there's like 7 different types of phone calls that are routed. And my department specifically handles a certain type of calls. But we have uh, after hours support for some of the other types of calls. And since I work third shift, I have to be. My team is like fully trained on a lot of stuff that daylight is not. The same is true for the weekend, and because it's a holiday weekend, they decided to put a bunch of people that are not fully trained on Sunday and Monday shifts, which makes me want to slap somebody. Because it ultimately comes back on me, even though it's not like my responsibility, it's really the manager's, but I'm trying to be responsible here, you know. So I'm gonna have to train a bunch of people on Thursday just to make sure that there's adequate coverage. I'm glad we had this conversation because I would have forgotten entirely. I don't need that as a sneak attack on me. I'm surprised that they kept that part in, where Bartz and Krill are attacking each other at Tycoon Castle. You know how they took Celeste being beaten by the Imperial Guard in Final Fantasy VI because it would have changed the rating of the game. Maybe it's because there were adults versus children. I don't know. I wonder that almost every time I play this game, actually, that he and her are going back and forth punching each other. And that's totally okay. But in any other context, it would have been a scandal. This game actually is like a low key scandal throughout. Like I realized that in the early '90s they were trying to be delicate enough, but it's somehow inclusive with a trans character. But Gilgamesh like continuously makes like categorically inappropriate jokes about Ferris's gender and sexuality, like throughout the whole game. And they made no attempt to edit that out or to change the story in any way. And I am not what you might call a woke activist. Okay, like I I I have an open mind to having an open mind. Um, but some of these jokes that Gilgamesh makes, I'm just like, that is just not okay. And for kids, teens, adults, doesn't matter, playing it could somehow get. I mean, Gilgamesh is obviously not a sign of like great moral character. No one's looking up to this dude. Still. Right. Also, did you see any of my responses when you did your hit and run? Was it yesterday? Day before? Because I was in there steady talking to myself. And then I was not looking at my, like the viewer chart. I was just responding in the chat. And I looked back and I was like, she has been gone for 6 years. It's all good. I wasn't saying anything that was that important. It's all good. Basically, what I was saying was because you were remarking that that Galef had died. And I made a remark about how I always thought that Galef was just like a Tella reboot. You know what I mean? It's got amnesia, old man. Um, this otherworldly quality to him and all this. Anyway, so it's difficult for me to get too deep into some of these characters. Even though they have like a built-in storyline, they are to a certain degree superficial. It doesn't go like it doesn't go deep into their personalities because usually your personality is tied into how you act, how you behave, and because your job is not singular, it just doesn't flow the same way in this game. You don't see it that way because Galef doesn't have a very specific role in the way that Tella had a role. But what I also put in the chat was that my parents had no sense. They were very supportive of me. I was cosplaying before cosplaying was a thing. I went as Tella the Sage for my 12th Halloween, and they went all out on this. They helped design the costume to make it as accurate as possible. Like, and this was the messed up part. Totally messed up. In addition to them being supportive of me, which I love. Okay. Every house that I went to, they asked me who I was, and I had to explain this over and over and over again because I was there was one other person that I knew that had played Final Fantasy IV. Yeah, I wish I had pictures. I really do. In retrospect, I wonder if my parents were trying to teach me a lesson. Or if they were just genuinely being supportive and just they had no other advice to give me. Like they didn't give me like a short script. They didn't say, listen, when they ask you, what are you going to tell them? Like this came up over and over and over again, and I was improvising it every single time. It didn't occur to me to come up with a story to explain to them. So from that point forward, my my entire neighborhood and extended neighborhood knew that I was a complete dork butt, but couldn't really put their finger on why because they had never played the game before. So there's that. I don't know, just committing to the narrative. Like if that's really what you want to be for Halloween, let's do it. But they didn't tell me I was gonna have to tell people who I was, because I had never had that experience before. Most people kind of knew who you were. I'm gonna ask you a funny question. What do you mean from crystal? Oh, oh. Okay. That makes more sense. Okay. Got it. Got it. Sorry. But see, nowadays, if somebody said, "Hey, what's that?" and you were like, "That's from a Pokemon game," they're like, "Oh, okay, whatever." Like, I grew up in a relatively conservative, not like burning stuff to the ground conservative, but relatively conservative, uh, like farming town. When I tell you that I was one of two people that I knew, including myself, that even knew what Final Fantasy IV was, like they didn't have a box to put it in. I just looked like like a wizard. If I just told them, "Oh, I'm a wizard," and just left it at that, it would have been fine. But my genius self really thought that I would have to explain the whole backstory to these people. I wish I had some kind of like video recording of me rambling on with my neighbors about who I dressed up as. And at this point, I had not even finished playing Final Fantasy IV. I had never gotten to the end. I was just, I had some form of like trauma bond with Tella because I never got through that second cave. But when I loaded somebody else's save file, it was already in Mistia, and so I already had Tella on my side, and it was just part of the story at this point. So yeah, that was. So I didn't even know that he died. Like we didn't even get that far. Well, at least you could get that far. You missed this part of the stream earlier. It was raining super hard earlier, and I made a parallel between playing this and playing Final Fantasy IV. I could not get past Kanozo when I was 12. I could not for the life of me think, hey, water is weak to lightning. Why don't you just use that a few times and like the battle is over in 3 rounds? I was making it super hard, and of course the save point system is challenging. So you'd have to go all the way back to the cave outside of Baron. It's just over and over and over again. So I had never actually beaten Kanozo that first time through. Eventually, when I played it again, I got through it just fine. But that was sad. What I was 12. Give me a break. I was 12. I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. See, that goes back to what we were talking about some days ago, about how with Illusion of Gaia, how the first time I ever played it, I spent about an hour trying to figure out how to get out of the little kid's cave or whatever that was, the little hideout, because I could not figure out how to use the flute spinny trick the way it was supposed to be. I swear to you. But you know what? When you're a kid and you're playing games like that gives you life in a way that just makes no sense to anybody else. Because that's, I mean, in a certain kind of way, that's how I felt like 4 hours ago when I was trying to get through this last boss. I felt like I was back in my 12-year-old head trying to figure out how to get out of that stupid cave. Look at all those black mages. Oh, Lord. Oh, don't... Hold on. I will take a picture. Hold on. There we go. How am I gonna... There we go. Do. Oh, no. Picture taken. All right, there we go. There we go. We did it. So true story. When I did the last 4-job fiesta last month, I didn't submit my my completion screenshot. I took the screenshot but never sent it. But they didn't. I don't think they published the data for that like they do for the main ones. And it should be next month, if I recall correctly. It is June. What's today? Yeah, it is in June. So this is in a certain kind of way of preparation for that. I don't know what challenge I'm gonna do though. There's a part of me that wants to try Classic again, just to see what kind of funny arrangement I get. I swear to you, I would get like all white mages or something. But I'm open. Oh yeah, to finish, ma'am, I don't think you understand. You're gonna make me hate this game. To be able to finish a white mage run, I would probably need to get to like level 10 as a freelancer, at least. Just grind. Remember that you only have access to flail. You have one flail that's in the ship graveyard. And then I think flails are for sale either in Waltz or in Karnak. Now, Waltz, it could be doable, but still the accuracy on flails is not there and the damage range is garbage. But the alternative is just using staves. There's no other damaging type. Yeah. It's just not... It's not conducive to good mental health. Okay, to put it one way. I don't know how you would get through the Karnak boss fight. I think Liquid Flame would be a challenge, because you would need it to switch. And you'd have to do a lot of healing in that fight too, but you'd have to get it to switch so that it would be vulnerable to attack. And usually that's triggered by some kind of magic spell, or I think waiting, some kind of timer. So, and even then you would be attacking it with a flail. It would just, you know what I mean? This would take so long. Like the patience that it took for me to get through the end of this game with this run, the first like 16 hours were butter. The last like 5 or 6 are just slap made. You know what? I think all blues would be okay because you do have access to White Wind pretty early on. So you have White Wind and Arrow, and it can break rods and staves, if I recall correctly. So, you know, with the air knife, you could cast Araga on, or even Era on whatever that was it Metamorph in Guido's cave, or the cave leading up to Guido's cave, whatever. And you could stock up on whatever those staves are that you can break into holy spells. And even if you only get like 10, 15 of those, that's more than enough to carry you through some of the major fights in the game. At least in the later half. So I think that's doable. It would be a bit annoying, quirky at times, but I think it also force you to get a little more acquainted with the levels of the enemy you're fighting. So the level 2, 3, 4, and 5 type spells. That would be interesting. Same with Goblin Punch, I believe. It's like 8 times more powerful if it's the same level as you. Right? To be honest, I'm clearly kind of tuned into this game, but I don't think I want to be tuned in that much. I don't want to be at that level. Though I am starting to figure out some of the other quirks, like mnemonics for how to remember the cycles of things. Like when you're fighting the Wind Crystal boss, the sequence is wind, ice, fire, lightning, all in terms of its weaknesses or affiliations. But that just so happens to be the first crystal that you get, followed by the first 3 summons that you get, which is Shiva, Ifrit, and Ramun. So if you can remember that order, then you'll be able to sequence your way through that fight without having to look at anything. And with the 4 crystals, it's fire, earth, wind, and water. So up, down, left, right. Remembering it in that order, sort of north, south, west, east. Stuff like that. Things that I don't think any human being was ever designed to remember, but I'm gonna claim that. Anyway, I feel like this background music was designed specifically to lower blood pressure. They need to do like some kind of scientific study. Just someone is high anxiety, having a panic attack. Just play this. See what happens. Yeah, something like that. Dedication. Well, you have to draw the line somewhere. It's one thing to like, for instance, love cars and to know exactly how your car is built and take it apart and put it back together again. Like you can love your car without loving it that much. You know what I mean? I feel like I need to draw that line with this game a bit. Um, just because there's so much about it that I could put into memory. But I always manage to screw up the order when I get into the third world. I go straight to the fort tower instead of completing the sealed temple, or whatever that's called. I think the sealed temple is what they call the after game dungeon, but you know what I'm talking about. The one that's in the middle of the big bridge. Also, yeah, you missed my reveal of a modified Final Fantasy VI natural magic run, which is assigning one Esper and never unequipping that Esper. Like that's your Esper for the rest of the game. So the magic that comes with it, in addition to the stat boost that you get with level ups and stuff like that. I don't know if that's like a natural light, but at least it would be a little more casual. It's not as much of the same kind of strategery. I don't know when or if I would ever have the time or patience to put that together. And I say that meaning it could be like tomorrow. But I want to make sure I have enough of my schedule cleared out for this next 4-job fiesta, so I can focus on that and get it done by the end of the month. I don't know if I'm going to be able to listen to this. Yeah, I was fixing to say. I don't know if I'm going to be able to listen to this for another 26 minutes. Uh, it's definitely something that will put you to sleep if you're not already tired. Um, sure, why not? All right, that's enough of that. Oh Lord. Out of curiosity, was there any issue with the visual or sound quality earlier, because I got a warning early on when it was raining, and then the warning went away. Okay, cool. All right, it was just a temporary thing then. You know what I could do? Maybe not today, but eventually, soon, I could probably start on that Final Fantasy VI idea. Because I really won't have to have everything figured out for like maybe 4 to 6 hours or so when Espers start coming into play. So it'll just be like a regular playthrough up until then. Things to think about. Also, I need to head to bed myself. I haven't slept yet. This has been my childish Saturday type experience. Been playing video games almost all day. This is my equivalent of an all-nighter, I guess. Oh no, perfect understood. Enjoy the rest of your day. And that's for anybody else. If you managed to make it this far, I appreciate you watching. I hope you're well, and I look forward to the next one. Not sure what that'll be yet, but I'm looking forward to it.